What's good, everybody? It's your boy Brody. Welcome to the Broadcast Network, coming to you live, man. I'm very excited. This is the first time that I've been live, man, and I am super, super excited. Just to present something new, something fresh to y'all today. On this very, very special day for all my NBA fans out there. Um, it's been a lot going on in the league, man. It's been a lot going on in the league. And I just felt like I need to speak on it because there were some things that need to be said, specifically about the Nets fumbling probably the biggest bag of any franchise of all time. And Lakers, man, Russ is shipped out of LA, at least, excuse me, away from the Lakers right now. So I'm very excited to see, and I just want to talk about everything that has been going on because not only that, excuse me, let's not even forget about probably the most important thing that happened this week, and that is LeBron GOAT James passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. Amazing, man. That's all I can say. It's amazing, man. So I'm gonna break down some things, go through some of the trades that's been going on, and yeah, we just gonna vibe out for a little bit. Might a few people may be joining me during the stream. I don't know just yet. So we gonna hold on tight. And we gonna see what's going on. So first, let's talk about, like I said before, LeBron James has officially passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. First off, salute to him. That's a great accomplishment. Probably, I think it's the greatest. It should be considered one of the greatest accomplishments in the game because that record, I mean, it held up for almost 40 years. So it's a big deal. But I want to salute to him for doing that. And it's crazy that when he broke the record, it was almost like this polarizing sort of reaction because, of course, it's a big deal. It's LeBron James. It's a big deal. It's a lot of different things, and there's still people out there that find a way to hate. Like, what? They still found a way to take away from the greatness that has been displayed for the last 20 years. And I feel like that's just one of those times where you gotta stand back and be a witness, bro. Like, for him to break that record like that is amazing. First off, it was amazing. All he needed was 36 points. I watched the entire game. You could tell from jump that he was gonna break the record that night. It was no denying that whatsoever. But the thing about it was just the crowd. All the celebrities, like Jay-Z was there, Denzel was there, Shannon Sharp was there, Kareem himself was there, his family, everybody was there. The crowd was lit. It was lively. Like, the atmosphere was amazing, right? And it was one of those things that, as just a fan of the game, you should have just been happy to see. Like, it shouldn't have been a thing of, well, I hate seeing it because LeBron. It should have been about just the fact that this 40-year-old record, this important 40-year-old record, is finally being broken by a player who I think is the GOAT. I think he's the greatest of all time. I feel like there's not what position on the floor can LeBron not play? That's number one for my argument. And number two, just look at the body of work. The numbers speak for themselves. Simple as that. The numbers speak for themselves. All-time leading scorer, like I'm talking about now. is gonna finish top 5 in assists. Going to be the only player in NBA history to do that. That's tough. That's real tough. But back to the point that I was making about LeBron breaking the record. It was just one of those things where it was like, why couldn't we as a collective basketball community just look at an occasion like that and say, yo, this is really cool. Like, we're seeing this historic moment. It's almost like when Hank Aaron broke the home run record. Like, it was like this sense of like pride, you know what I'm saying? And not like, oh, well, LeBron still ain't as good as Mike. Like, what? And see, of course, every time LeBron is mentioned, Mike has to be mentioned. Michael Jordan, that is. Has to be mentioned. And it's almost as if, to me, if you're always having to bring somebody else's name up when you're talking about somebody else, it's clear that that other person did something to make you think that he might have been, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're talking, we're talking about LeBron James. Like, LeBron James can get to the basket, finish, play defense, during his prime. Not as much now. He's old. By NBA standards, he's an old man, so he ain't playing no defense now. But in his day, he was an excellent defender and could guard 4 positions on the floor, maybe 5, depending on the lineup, can play all 5 positions on the floor. There's only been 2 people that can ever say, and even the other person, I was going to say Magic Johnson, but even Magic, he was a point guard, he could play center. Like, it was never like, oh, he's got to play shooting guard this game, or, oh, he got to play. It was always either point guard or like a center type role, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just, how can you, we're going to, and I feel like we're going to keep having this discussion because it's going to be a discussion that's had for the end of time. Who's better, LeBron or Michael Jordan? And people throw Kobe in there, and people will throw Kareem in there. I personally, like I said, believe that LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. And I think that him breaking this record solidified it. Honestly, it's like, at this point, what is it about, the individual, or is it about the team? Because LeBron was carrying guys that were not that good to the finals, man. At least in Cleveland. That first run in Cleveland, he had some teams, man, where they want it. They want it. Especially that 07 team, man. He dragged that 07 team to the finals, and the second best player on the team was Boobie Gibson. Shout out to Boobie Gibson, man. Hell of a 3-point shooter. But, I mean, think about that. That's like Iverson with what, Eric Snow as his second best player, like, you don't see those type of teams going to the finals. And so when a player has shown that he did that throughout his first run in Cleveland, he goes to Miami with D Wade and Chris Bosh, wins 2 championships there. And to me, people criticize LeBron for that. To me, I look at it as if he did what was best for him at that time. And the reason why I say he did what was best, it's not like he went to the Celtics to win. Which will come to a point that I brought up, that I'm going to bring up a little bit later in this stream. It's not like he went to the Celtics. He went to another team that, if we're going to talk history, because that was a time where I was really deep into the game of looking at basketball, covering basketball. So at that time, there was nobody else on that team. It was them 3, and it was like, okay, we just going to scramble and put a bunch of guys. Go really look back and look at those teams and look at the roster. I'm not talking about D Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron. If you scratch their names off of those rosters, man, they're not as good as you think. Like, they really aren't. And then he goes back to Cleveland, teams up with Kyrie, and then Kevin Love as well, because Kevin Love is an all-star too. And Year number one, they should have won a championship then. And I'm gonna be real honest. If Kyrie don't get hurt in game one, there's no way in hell that Warriors team is beating the Cavs that year. LeBron was on another level at that time, and Kyrie was playing at another level at that time. The next year is a 3-1 year, right? Where the Warriors up 3-1 and the Cavs come back and win the first time in finals history, right? And then the scariest team of all time, Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. I mean, you tell me, in all honesty, right? Because he ran into that team 2 years in a row, and then that was it for his run in Cleveland again. Well, not was it 2? Yeah, it was 2 years in a row because they went for that three-peat against Toronto. Like, name a team that Michael Jordan played against in the finals that was as good as either one of those Golden State Warrior teams. Like, come on, man. You trying to tell me the Utah Jazz is beating them? You trying to tell me that the Portland Trailblazers is beating them? The Supersonics is beating them? The Lakers? And we're not talking the Showtime Lakers, you know what I'm saying? With Kareem, Magic, Worthy. No, we're talking just Magic and Worthy Lakers. They're beating the Warriors? They're a better team than the Warriors? Come on, dog. So, with all that being said, on that point with him going back to Cleveland, in terms of the basketball that LeBron was playing at that time, it was incredible. He went on a stretch of 9 years where the finals was the LeBron James Invitational, because every year, no matter what, LeBron was there. Everybody else was just kind of the revolving door until the Warriors, pretty much. So it's just like, if we looking at, are we talking about this from a team aspect where it's okay, championships? Because if it is, Bill Russell is the greatest player of all time without question, and even stat wise, they hold up the same way. Or is it about the individual? Because if it's about the individual, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time, and it's close. Like it's. And don't get me wrong here, right? I'm not saying LeBron is like this compared to Michael Jordan, right? But in terms of just, if you say me, you have 20 years, or excuse me, you could get this entire, because Mike didn't play 20 years, okay? You get an entire career of this one person. And I'm not talking about with the rest of the league knowing what it is, whatever. I'm saying, hey, you get the number one pick. You can draft this dude from day one of the whole career. I'm picking LeBron James. I'm picking LeBron James every time. I mean, you're talking 20 years straight of, no significant. A lot of the criticisms of LeBron are more personality type shots to me than it is just about the game. People want to talk about the game, cool, we can go back and forth, but a lot of it is, well, he don't have that killer instinct. Well, maybe his killer instinct is shown in another way. So congratulations to LeBron James becoming the all-time leading scorer, and hopefully you can score as many more points as you want, and all the beautiful things happen to you with the Lakers, and you get to play with your son and all that. So salute to you, and keep scoring, man. That's all I can say. You don't want to look like Kareem with the boo-boo. Because Kareem looked so bad that whole night. They kept showing every basket, they would point the camera to him, and Kareem was just looking real hurt. And I felt bad for him, but it is what it is. So with all that, it's finally time for us to get to the real meat and potatoes of what this stream is going to be. And this is about the trade deadline in the NBA because there was a lot of big moves that happened. Some of which I'm very excited to talk about. So I am going to we gonna talk about it. We gonna run through these, man, and we gonna talk about what happened today because it's been a lot, bro. It's been a lot, man. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. So I'm on NBA.com right now, and we gonna start out with the first trade that really kind of started the deadline. As we saw last week, the timeline's kind of getting to February 6th. So what the third, the fourth, whatever it is. I'm bad. I'm horrible with dates. Please, I'm horrible with dates. I promise you, I am. The first domino dropped. Kyrie Irving got traded to the Dallas Mavericks. That's right. Kyrie Irving was traded from the Brooklyn Nets alongside Markieff Morris. And the Nets got Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, first round pick, and then 2 second-round picks. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. That does a lot for that Dallas Mavericks team, and I see people talk about, well, Luka holds the ball, this and that, and they're too ball dominant. My thing with Luka is, first off, Luka is a smart basketball player. I don't think people really give him enough credit for being a smart basketball player, right? And also, he's a European basketball player. And the thing about European basketball players that I've noticed is that skill-wise, they may or may not adapt to the game. And then when I say the game, I mean the NBA game, because the NBA game is a lot different than the European game. But typically, the great ones, no matter the scheme, no matter the system, it works for them. Like, it works. Luka now, and I feel like he's also one of these type guys where he probably looking at the rest of his team like, so yeah, I mean, sure, they can score, but how much? Can I trust them every night to score? That's why Dallas didn't want to give Jalen Brunson that money, because they didn't trust him that he could be that true secondary piece for them, you know? So with this trade, Kyrie going to the Mavericks, and I'm gonna break down the entire Nets timeline once I get to the trade later on that happened early this morning. But my thing with this Kyrie Irving trade to the Mavericks is, I think this is gonna be a big deal in the West, and I don't think it's gonna be this year, because to me they're a piece away. I think they need another big that can play defense but also stretch the floor. Maybe like a 3-and-D wing, someone like PJ Tucker. Somebody cut from that cloth. I thought OG Anunoby, if they wanted to take like another real just reach, because to be honest, to me, I love Spencer Dinwiddie. I think he's a good player, but I don't think they got the true compensation for what a talent like Kyrie Irving is. And they also got Markieff Morris, and maybe Markieff Morris could be that guy, but I don't think he is. I would have loved the Mavericks to say, hey, we're going to go all in, and we're going to reach out for a guy like OG Anunoby. I think he would have been perfect for them. A 3-and-D type wing that could that can play defense and also hit threes. He would have been perfect for them, in my opinion. But like I said, to me, this trade it's not about this year. It's about next year. And once they get that piece next year, it's going to be a big deal. And people are asleep. People want to talk about Luka holding the ball. People want to talk about Kyrie Irving holding the ball. Well, Kyrie Irving proved in Cleveland when he won a championship that he don't have to have the ball in his hand to be great. So we're going to see what happens. Root for the best for everybody. But like I said, I think it's a big deal. People are aware, but they real sleep at the same time, man. They real sleep. They real sleep. Let's see. We gonna skip some of these trades because honestly, it's just not really important. And I hate to put it that way, But you see oftentimes during the trade deadline as well, you see a lot of trades where it's just like, oh, they're trying to get draft capital for something. Or, oh, they're just trying to save some money, like, so some of these trades are like that. Good luck to them on wherever their new stops is. Good for them. The next trade, now this one I am very, very excited for, because as somebody who is a fan of the Lakers, it finally happened. That's right. Russell Westbrook has officially been shipped from the Lakers. LeBron got his wish, man. He got his wish. That's right. Russell Westbrook has been traded to the Utah Jazz for it's a 3-team deal. 3-team deals are confusing. They're very confusing, but they're always interesting because you just see pieces go any and everywhere. So the 3-team deal: the Lakers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Utah Jazz. Within this deal, the Lakers will receive D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt. D'Angelo Russell, former All-Star, former Laker, actually. He played for the Lakers, number 2 overall pick by them. Minnesota, they will receive Mike Conley, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and then hella draft picks. And then Utah, they will get Russell Westbrook, who I think is going to get bought out. Juan Toscano Anderson, Damian Jones, and then another first-round pick. From what I understand, that first-round pick is like top 4 protected. So to me, it works out beautifully for the Lakers. They still get to keep the value of the pick because, later on down the line, it may mean something. However, they're still throwing it out there to be had. So my thoughts on this trade. So let me talk about this from the perspective of the Lakers. You get D'Angelo Russell. He's a point guard he's not the greatest defender in the world. However, he can shoot the 3. And yes, he may need the ball in his hands, but I think he's a playmaker, and he's also somebody that he's a good enough shooter to where you don't have to just you have to guard him. Like with Westbrook in the lineup, you didn't have to even really guard him for real. Like you could just play zone and dare him to shoot. With D'Angelo Russell, you don't have to dare him to shoot. He will shoot, that's for sure, but he will knock him down, and that's a big deal. I think that's something, and he's also a playmaker as well, and he can, that's somebody that LeBron can play off of. That's somebody that Anthony Davis can play off of, but they can still play on the floor with, because that was the biggest problem for the Lakers, was just all 3 of them couldn't play on the floor together. Russ can't shoot. LeBron he shoots. He makes them sometimes, whatever, but he's not the greatest shooter in the world. And Anthony Davis, you never, and I'm being honest here, you never really know what you're going to get from him. Like, he may play like a beast, and then he may stub his toe and don't want to play. You never know. So, and then you also got Malik Beasley as well. Malik Beasley, it's I hate to say this, but it's gonna be awkward with that team because Malik Beasley used to date Larsa Pippen, who is also Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, who just so happens to be the mother of Scottie Pippen Jr., who is on the Lakers. I'm gonna leave that at that. He's great. Once again, you got another dude that can shoot. He can play off the ball. Somebody that can play off LeBron. He defends, maybe not the greatest defender, but he fills a role. It fills a need that they want. He's a younger player too. So, and I do like his game. He's a dog. I remember him when he was at Virginia Tech. So he's a dog. I like that pickup for them. And then finally, Jared Vanderbilt, who is somebody that was being shopped around a lot. He's definitely a wing defender, not the greatest shooter, but he's long, athletic, can play the wing, can play big, depending on the lineup. So I think he fits some holes that they needed. However, it all depends on if Anthony Davis can stay on the court, man. It just depends on that. Like, I think all these players that they traded for in this deal will work out. It just depends on if Anthony Davis is there. So I'm hoping for the best for them. I really am. Do I think this makes them a championship contender? No. I think the Lakers championship window was dead. However, I do think this gives them a shot to get at least into the play-in. If nothing else, they can make it to the play-in. So we'll see what happens. So if any, so let's go to Minnesota. They get Mike Conley. Um, he's past his prime. Hopefully, he can offer some leadership, some guidance, something. But you know, we'll see. I really don't know how much Mike Conley has left in the tank because I know he's been injured a lot, and that's just me being honest. Nickeil Alexander Walker, I like him as a player. Great scorer to me. Minnesota, he can be that dog type next to Anthony Edwards, and I like to pick up for them. Hopefully, this does something for them to boost something because Minnesota they need a boost bad, real bad. And then the picks, we'll see whenever they pick them. We'll see. In terms of Utah, they get Russell Westbrook. Like I said, he's getting bought out. So where do I think Russell Westbrook will land? I think he's going to the Clippers. They need a point guard. It's no need for him to move. Anything like that. I think he's going to remain there. He's going to remain a Clipper. If not, then I think the only other choice for him would be Miami. I would say probably Miami. But we'll have to see. But I don't really think there's a lot of options for Russell Westbrook out there. Sadly, because his name got spread through the dirt so much as a Laker, and it sucks for him because I think he still can bring a lot of value to a team. But if nobody's really rocking with you like that, how much value can you really bring, honestly? So we'll just have to see for real. So Juan Toscano Anderson and Damian Jones for them. This gives them a chance to get playing time. They're playing in Utah. Utah trying to lose, so they're gonna get some playing time. And then the 27 first round pick, like I said before, it is top 4 protected, which is good for the Lakers because if they stink in 2020, if they stink, they can still get the pick. And the lottery balls work out for them. They can still get the pick. However, if they just are a little too good to stink enough, then the Utah Jazz is for them. So hopefully it works out for everybody. Like I said, I don't think that this pickup for the Lakers means that they're going to instantly become some sort of championship contender. However, this does give them a shot to make the playoffs, if nothing else. I think this gives them a shot to make the playoffs if everybody stays healthy. Anthony Davis, I'm looking at you, brother. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. I'm kidding. So then we're gonna talk about the next trade. So let me go find the next big trade here because there were some other trades that happened today. And we're gonna start. We're gonna start with the biggest one. We're gonna start. No, I declined the offer, NBA. We're gonna start with the biggest one, and I'm scrolling. Or matter of fact, we just run through here, man. I don't want to scroll. The Warriors get back Gary Payton the second. I think that's gonna be good for him. He fits their system as he showed last year. Like I said, wish the best for him. Hope it works out, and hopefully the Warriors get better. People keep talking about them being a championship contender. To me, I think they got lucky last year. Now with everybody going to the West, they are in trouble. They really are in trouble. And people can think all they want that this Warriors. The thing of people are banking on with the Warriors that the young players on their team just break out, and to me, they haven't been consistent enough to warrant that sort of praise. I mean, that's just me being honest. Just because they're high draft picks don't mean that everything that they're doing is working out. Just because they play for the Warriors doesn't mean everything they do is working out. I think this pickup for the Warriors is good because it brings back somebody that was good in their system. And I mean, Gary Payton II, I mean, the name speaks for itself. So, Mason Plumlee goes to the Clippers. Mason Plumlee goes to the Clippers. The Hornets receive Reggie Jackson. He's gonna get bought out. The Clippers. Y'all don't want to hear my Mason Plumlee thoughts. But anybody that does bet on Prize Picks, any of that, always bet the under on him. Promise you, it's a good bet. And then the Hornets stink. It don't matter if Reggie Jackson played or not; they were still gonna stink. And yeah, hopefully we get Victor. That's all I can say. I'm a Hornets fan as well because I'm from North Carolina. So Hopefully we get Victor. That's all. That's all I'm worried about at this point. The Lakers, they pick up Mo Bamba from the Magic. They have traded Patrick Beverly. Um, Pat Bev, I feel bad for him because I really think he really loved being a Laker, but he out, man. So hopefully it works out for him. Mo Bamba in terms of the Lakers, I think that's a good pick. I think that's somebody else that adds to the team. He can play center. He can stretch the floor a little bit. He can do some of the things that Anthony Davis can do. Not as well, but he can participate in some of those things. So we'll see how it works out for him. And yeah, and also, dude, stop fighting, bro. Stop, please. You beat up Austin Rivers, man. Come on. Pelicans got Josh Richardson from the Spurs. Spurs got Devontae Graham. Shout out to him, North Carolina. Stand up. And then 4 future second-round picks. Once again, the trade deadline is about capital more so than it is about players. So unless you're a team and you really trying to make a push for a championship, more than likely, if you make a trade, it's because you're trying to get some picks. You stink. You just trying to invest in your future. So a lot of times you'll just see weird trades like this where you look at the names, it's like, what? And then you see the picks, and it's like, oh, okay, okay, like that's a lot of picks. So, in terms of Pelicans, does add some wing depth for them. Need some more shooting because they're not particularly a great 3-point shooting team. Josh Richardson adds that, and I think he has that same sort of dog mentality of the guys that they got. Shout out to Grand Theft Alvarado and Herb Jones. Shout out to them too specifically. So next you got the Clippers getting Eric Gordon, who was drafted by the Clippers. 3 second-round picks from the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies is a 3-team trade. Get Luke Kennard. Yeah, no, I'm playing. He's a good pickup for them. Add some shooting that they really, really need. Ain't gonna add much defense, but add shooting for them. And then the Rockets get back John Wall, who totally despises the franchise, but of course they trade for him back, and hopefully they let him out of his contract so he can go wherever he chooses. And I feel bad for John Wall because, first off, me being a North Carolina native, John Wall hits different for me. And just the time in which John Wall came up was just the era in which I was enthralled in the Ball is Life hoops mixtape era, just guys coming out of high school. And I remember John Wall was one of the great players from that time. And to see the way that his career has started to end up, I really do feel bad for him. I'm always wishing for the best for him, praying for him. And hopefully he lands on his feet on the team that deserves him. Maybe he ends up back in Washington. I don't see anything wrong with that. Let him go back there and finish off his career where he probably should have, honestly. He should have always been a Washington Wizard, in my opinion. So hopefully he gets a chance to finish his career there. If not, hey, come Charlotte, man. Come back home. Well, yeah, come back home. Come back home. Come back home. Hey, whatever you want to offer, get yourself a contract next year. More power to you. Same thing with Danny Green. Probably there, but probably not going to be there. I think he's somebody to watch out for. The Lakers probably picking up because he has shooting and defense, and he's also LeBron's boy. So more power to him. Hope he works out. Shout out to the Tar Heels. Get y'all act together, please. And everybody know, and the people know what I'm talking about. Right? I ain't gonna spill the beans, but because I want to do some more investigating myself. But man, y'all gotta chill out. Y'all gotta chill out over real. Chill out. Right, and then another draft pick, like I said before. This trade right here, the Hawks. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Some of these names for some of these teams are down the rabbit hole. I know who everybody in this trade is, but to me, I don't know them well enough to be able to understand if it's gonna really be great for them or not. So, more power to them. Good luck to them all. Another 3-team deal. James Wiseman got sent to Detroit. He is now a Piston. Former number 2? He was number 2 overall pick as well. Once again, like I brought up with the Warriors earlier, just because they drafted these guys early does not mean that they are great and ready to contribute in the way in which they want to. As we saw with James Wiseman, he wasn't ready. He simply was not ready for that type of responsibility on a team like that. So it never really worked out for him. Hopefully it does. I've always kind of been a fan of his game. Detroit may just be the perfect place for him because he he does have the opportunity to just grow with that team, build with that team. So we'll see. Hopefully, it works out for him. And then the Hawks will get Sadiq Bey. I think that's a good pickup for him. Nice defender, just rugged dude. I like his game, man. I really do like his game. It's weird that he's getting traded so early from the Pistons, but you know, hey, more power to him. Hopefully, it works out in Atlanta for him. And then the Warriors will see Kevin Knox, and then 5 second-round picks from the Hawks. 5 second-round picks from the Hawks. We'll see what they do with those picks. Something tells me in the offseason they're going to try to trade for Bradley Beal. Just what I can see, they're going to trade the farm, and so we'll see how it goes. Kevin Knox didn't work out for the Knicks, went to the Pistons, clearly didn't work out for the Pistons. Hopefully it works out for him. That's all I can say. Hopefully it works out for him. If not, hey, man, time for you to go overseas. No disrespect. Suns receive Darius Bazley for Dario Saric and second-round pick. I think it's a weird trade to me, but I think that Bazley is somebody that will get mentoring from the right people, and it will work out for him. He's a young guy, athletic. I like him. I rock with him. Dario Saric, you haven't really been playing that much. Well, I had back. You haven't really been playing that much, but then you have, and it's just like, what are you really at this point? You've been in the league for a while. You've been around for a while. Time for you to go back to Europe. Simple as that. Time for you to go back to Europe. Old Bones. So Bones has gotten traded as well. Bones Highland got traded from the Nuggets to the Clippers for 2 second-round picks. I don't understand why they traded him. Maybe there was some infighting amongst him and the coach. Who knows? But that's a great pickup for the Clippers. Like, people, Bones can ball, man. Like, his game is unconventional, but he can ball. That's a good pickup for them. I like that. I think the Clippers did a lot, man. If they can go out and get Westbrook as well, I think they're gonna have done a lot during the trade deadline that I really like. And so we're gonna see how things play out. But let's get, and then we got some more. We got some more trades. Matisse Thybulle, Blazers. Jalen McDaniels, Sixers with some picks. The Hornets. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna try to pronounce your name. I apologize. He's going. Either way, the Hornets stink. It don't matter. Thomas Bryant. LeBron got him about the pain. He said, "You ruined my moment. You ruined my picture. You gone, son." So Thomas Bryant has been traded to the Denver Nuggets. That gives them a backup big. Thomas Bryant's playing really well for the Lakers for Devon Reed's picks, which they immediately flipped in the Russell Westbrook trade. Russell Westbrook trade. So we'll go from there. Jay Crowder has been traded to the Bucks for 5 first-round picks. Nets got that. Pacers got Jordan Nwora, Serge Ibaka, who I'm surprised still in the league. Honestly, I didn't even realize it. And then 2 second-round picks. Serge Ibaka, I think, got bought out. He probably, if not, he probably will. He's one of those type players at this stage of the game. He's going to get bought out and be able to go wherever he wants. So hope it all works out for him. I think Jay Crowder is a good piece for them. It feels that PJ Tucker role, which I think was very important for them when they won their championship. So the Celtics acquired Mike Muscala. Good for them. Justin Jackson, I'm glad that you're even still in the league. Mike Muscala was balling out the other night, though. I ain't gonna cap. And then it's crazy, and I'm doing all this live, so why the Kevin Durant deal isn't on this thing is crazy. But so we're gonna talk about the biggest trade of them all, and that is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was traded to the Suns alongside TJ Warren for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, who what I mentioned in the last trade, was flipped to the Bucks. 4 first-round picks and a 2028 pick swap. So Kevin Durant will be joining Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton out in Phoenix. Ooh, boy. Ooh, what a 4. So this was a team that Kevin Durant wanted to go to. He requested a trade in the offseason, right before training camp. I think it was a week before, actually. And he wanted to go to Phoenix. The franchise, the Brooklyn Nets. And the reason why Kevin Durant wanted to be traded was because he wanted Steve Nash fired, who was the coach at the time. And he didn't get along with Sean Marks like that. He didn't agree with some of the decisions he was making. That was like the final kind of nail in the coffin at that point. But not only did that happen, we also saw James Harden the year before ask for a trade after getting traded there because of Kevin Durant, right? And he wanted to get traded because he was looking around like, what's going on here? Kevin Durant wants to get traded in the offseason because he's looking around here like, what in the world is going on here in the Brooklyn Nets? Right? What in the world is going on here? Kyrie Irving said the same thing. So now Kevin Durant gets traded to Phoenix. When are we, as a collective sports media conglomerate, whatever you want to call yourself in terms of sport, when are we gonna call for the firing of Sean Marks? 3, you're talking about the greatest what if ever in the history of basketball. James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. First, they never really got to play that much together, which was, I mean, that's not Sean Marks' fault. You can't blame him for that. As I take a sip of my drink. You can't blame Sean Marks for that, right? But when you're hearing stuff in these little subtle words that like Kevin Durant has said, like Kyrie has said, where it's almost as if something was going on in that front office, right? And nobody wanted to call it out or address it. It was always, well, Kyrie's doing this, Kyrie's doing that, James Harden doing this, Ben Simmons this, because they traded James Harden for Ben Simmons, which is like, Ben Simmons is cooked. He don't want to play basketball at the local rec anymore, right? Why is it that we're not calling for the Nets to fire Sean Marks? Because it's clear he's not good at his job. Like, we talk all the time about players doing certain things and wanting certain things. We talk about Kevin Durant going to the Warriors, right? And we all were mad. I was mad included. I'm still a little hurt about that. You know, him going to the Warriors, right? But at some point, in the same thing with LeBron going to Miami, with not Paul Pierce, Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett going to the Celtics. At what point are we going to start talking about like some of the incompetence of these front office people in the franchises? Like, if you at your job, right, displayed, if you was at your job, you was a manager at your job, and the 3 best workers at your job that work under you say something's wrong, something's weird, something's going on, he ain't listening to our ideas, we had these problems, these issues. At some point, wouldn't like someone want to look at? At some point, people be looking at you like, So why is everybody complaining about you, right? But nobody has, and it's frustrating because Kyrie's been blamed for this. KD's been blamed for this. James Harden, when he was here, has been blamed for this. Ben Simmons blame is justified. They were all blamed for this, and even Steve Nash, who great player. Don't get me wrong, he ain't a coach. That's not his bag. Coaching ain't his bag. Sean Marks clearly didn't do his job well. The basic part of being a general manager in any sport, any team sport, you gotta make sure you got a good coach, and you gotta make sure you got a good rapport with the players. And if you have 3 all-time level talents, because those are 2 top 75 players in Durant and Harden right there, and Kyrie is damn close, in my opinion. Why are we not looking at Sean Marks like, bro, fire you, dude? How do you fumble that bag? How do you mess that up? Like, I could be the general manager of the Nets and not mess that up. It's simple. You got 2 guys that's won a championship. You listen to their ideas and you take on what they say. They wanted Ime Udoka as coach in the first place, right? They hire Steve Nash. When they tell him, hey, we want James Harden, they got James Harden. I'll give them that. But when it's like, okay, if we're going to trade James Harden, we don't want Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons pretty much at this point doesn't even want anything to do with basketball, really, in my opinion. I think he may love the game. He still may want to play the game, but I don't think he really want to be there like that. And that's just my opinion. You make mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. Self-inflicted mistake. And we're just gonna blame the players for that. If Sean Marks' name was Sean Williams and was black, he would have got fired last year. So Sean Marks should be fired for this. Like, you have arguably the 3 greatest scorers, and when I say scorers, I mean just off the dribble, do whatever they want type scorers on one team, and you do things to mess it up, dude. And I feel bad for Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant went to the Nets because Kyrie wanted to go to the Nets. Kevin Durant wanted to go and pull out his own legacy. Say, yo, I can win it by myself. Whatever the naysayers are saying, that ain't true. I was him on the Warriors, not Steph. And he had, 4 years, valuable years of his career where he was still in his prime, not only dealing with injury, but dealing with the BS in the Brooklyn Nets franchise. It's sick, and I feel so bad for him. The babyface turn of Kevin Durant in my eyes is crazy. I went from being not against Kevin Durant as a basketball player, but against Kevin Durant, how he moved in terms of going to the Warriors. That was like the thing that I couldn't get past. How could you go to a team that beat you the year before and you were part of the reason why y'all lost? I as the competitor in me couldn't stomach that. But in terms of him as a basketball player, I think he's top 15 easy. And then we talk about scorers, him, Michael Jordan, and Kobe, to me, the 3 just greatest peer scorers of all time. And for him to go from living in the penthouse with the Warriors, where People said he was better. People were saying he was better than LeBron. To now having a miserable time with the Nets, not doing what it is that he wanted to do, pretty much getting traded to another super team. Because don't get me wrong, the Suns aren't. I think because their place in the seeding, they're not like they can't just be world beaters, right? But you got Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton in your starting five. Oof, oof, that's tough. That's real tough, man. That, and I think I heard who was I was listening to some stuff this morning. I think it was Jay Williams. Shout out to Jay Williams, man. Jay Williams been on a roll, bro. Shout out to him, for bringing truth to power, bringing power to the truth. Let me make sure I say that right. Bringing power to the truth and calling out that what needs to be called out. He said that this deal reminded him of the Warriors team. He thought that this team may even be better. I don't think it's that. I think that Chris Paul has shown that he's not that same guy anymore, but he's good enough to where you need to watch out for him. And he's that much of a competitor as well. Devin Booker is a dog, straight dog, and Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. And then DeAndre Ayton, who former number 1 overall pick, has shown flashes. That's a tough team. That's a tough team. It is. I don't know. As a matter of fact, let's actually go see where they at in the standings right now. While I got it up. And in terms of let me talk about, and like I said, in terms of the Nets with this deal, and we're just gonna talk about the stand. We're gonna bring up the standings right quick. We're gonna talk about it. Then we'll get back to the Nets and the deal. Okay, so they're fifth in the West right now. They have a real shot at. They got a real shot at winning a championship, because looking at the standings right now, them at full strength, I think, is beating Dallas at this stage of the game. At full strength, I think they're beating Sacramento. At full strength, with that lineup, I think they can beat the Clippers. Pelicans, I think they can beat the Pelicans. But because Zion, once again, we don't know when Zion's playing when he's not. Timberwolves, they beat the hell out of the Timberwolves. Golden State, I will put money on they can beat Golden State. I'm that confident they can beat Golden State. This Golden State team is not as good as people think. There's a reason that they are like a game over 500, and people can say all they want about it, but it's a reason for that. And yet they beat Portland, and I mean all the other teams, they even have a shot at making the playoffs. Like let's say the Lakers, I think they're beating. I think Phoenix, with the way that the Lakers are constructed right now, could beat the Lakers as well and have a damn good shot at beating them too. It's just the only two teams that I struggle to think that they could beat, and only because I think these teams have so much continuity because they've been around each other for so long that it'll work out better. It may work out better for them. That's Memphis and the Nuggets. And to me personally, I had the Clippers going into the season, going to the finals. Yes, I know. Didn't I don't know if it's gonna work out like I hope, but right now, as of now, in terms of who I think is going to the finals, it's, in all honesty, I think that it's going to be Denver and Milwaukee. Jokic is playing on another level right now. He's been playing on another level for he won MVP the past 2 years, so he's been playing on another level. And this year is more of the same. And then in terms of Milwaukee, Milwaukee's Milwaukee. I don't think Giannis is letting anybody he's cut from that cloth. Giannis is cut from that cloth. Not to say that the Celtics and Tatum and them aren't, but Giannis is cut from that cloth. And he's scary. He's scary. But with all that, and to kind of bring everything back home here, with the trade in terms on the side of the Suns, they have said, we're going for it, and we're going for it now. And we will not be stopped. We will not be contained. We going for it now. Whatever it takes, we're going for it. And I can respect that. Chris Paul is on his last legs. Honestly, I can't see him playing past next year at all. So the time for them to win is now. DeAndre Ayton is still there. Him and Monty Williams, their coach, don't get along. But with someone like Kevin Durant being there, could he empower things to kind of work a little bit better? You don't know. We don't know. But that starting five, that along with Torrey Craig, who's there, who'll be like the starting power forward or whatever. That lineup is just a nasty lineup, and it's gonna be a tough out. I mean, you telling me that you gotta stop Kevin Durant and Devin Booker from scoring? That's tough. That's tough. Maybe one, but both for 4 games to win 4 games. Oof, oof. That's tough. That's real tough. So, and then in terms of the Nets, now they're built around Ben Simmons, who I have said over and over throughout the stream, he do not want to be there. And when I say he don't want to be there, he don't want to be in the league. And I don't mean that from the standpoint of he's not good enough, but mentally, man, I just don't. He's cooked, bro. Like I've never seen a player with so much talent. Like I remember seeing him, like I said before, the ball is life, you know, hoops mixtape era, seeing him and thinking, yo, this dude is a 6'10" point guard, a 7 foot point guard, even at LSU. And to see the decline of him is sad. It's really sad. And as much as I hate him, the basketball player, because he refuses to shoot, and he just don't got that dog in him. Like I hate it with a passion, right? I really do hope things work out for him. Hopefully, things can be built around him in Brooklyn, and it can be an environment where he can feel that love for the game again. Because I think that's really what did it. I think him having that mental block with shooting, and then also what he has gone through with the media getting on him about it. Like when he constantly being hounded, and then that playoff debacle where he didn't take up that wide open dunk. That was like the mental breakdown of him no longer being in love with the game, being in love with the game. So hopefully for him in Brooklyn, things work out for him and he can build up that confidence back. Because I think that's really the biggest thing that's going is his confidence. And sometimes it takes that reset, and Brooklyn's in reset mode. So we'll see if he resets along with it. So it's the trade deadline has been wild, and I'm real excited to see what happens out west. The West right now is wide open. I mean, there's at least 11 teams here, in all honesty. I take back 10 because I don't include Minnesota. There's at least 10 teams here that could make a run to the Western Conference Finals, to maybe potentially to the finals if they get hot enough. And we haven't had that in the NBA in a long time. Same thing with the East. East is wide open. It's great for the NBA. This trade deadline has been great for the NBA. It's the Thursday before the Super Bowl. Super Bowl is Sunday, and I'm definitely gonna do another stream talking about that. And we're talking about the NBA. The NBA is the most exciting thing going on right now. So I'm excited about the rest of the season. The All-Star Weekend, I think All-Star Weekend is next weekend. So I'm excited about All-Star Weekend. My favorite time of the basketball year outside the playoffs. I'm excited. I hope you all are excited. And I look forward to it. And we're gonna be watching together. We're gonna be watching together. So thank you for anybody who does watch this. I appreciate you showing support, showing love. As I go through this journey of getting back on track of doing stuff. I hope everybody, has a good week, a good Friday, whatever. And yeah, we go get to it. We go get to it. Got some very special things planned coming soon. And please, if you haven't already, all my wrestling heads out there, wrestling fans, whatever, please check out my interview that I did with Forbes writer Alfred Kanua on Broadcast Wrestling. It's on the channel. I'll actually probably put it somewhere in in the box somewhere after this video, after I finish this stream and the video go up. So thank you. Please go check that out. Please follow the content, everything like that on Instagram and Twitter at Broadcast Network. Link will be in the description of this video and the replay. Please check that out. Look forward to having more content on there as well. And yeah, just thank you everybody for watching. Enjoy the rest of y'all week if y'all don't hear from me. And y'all stay blessed. Peace, blessings, everybody. Love y'all. Thank you.